Welcome to the show. Good morning. Uh, Second live stream I'm doing this week for Welcome Week for the Guild. Uh, mm, mm, mm. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. This is gonna be interesting. I came across two videos um yesterday on Instagram that I thought it worth sharing, talking about a little bit. So I'm gonna do that. Um, Really excellent points, I would say. Um, Mark, good to see you in the chat. Welcome to the show, sir. Yeah, the Guild's a continuous cohort class, a continuous cohort course, excuse me. Um, 3 months of classes. You get the recordings for all the audios. I'm not reading you someone else's book. Um, we can take it wherever you'd like to take it. But, you know, I can tell you this right now. I can tell you this right now. If you're trying to find someone you can trust, go ahead and stay away. Go ahead and stay away. Because I don't even want to put on the table whether or not you can trust me. I really don't. I want you to go and develop the competency to figure out who you can and can't trust. Because I'm going to give you the sources. I'll send you to go look at them. That's what I do with the whole fucking show. I'll even bring the sources and look them up for you myself. Freaky out, good to see you in the chat. Welcome to the show. So I don't want you to trust me. Don't try and build a personal relationship with me. I'm a dick. You're not gonna like me. And I'm probably not gonna like you. Don't oh, I really trust this guy. Seems like he's not gonna bullshit me. I probably won't, but don't trust me that I won't. Please don't. Go research. Do the work. Fuck you mean. Jill Sunbright, good to see you in the show. Good to see you in the chat. Welcome to the show. Yeah, don't trust me. Don't trust me. It's not a question of whether or not I'm trustworthy. Stop being gullible. Stop being a little bitch nigga. Alright? Figure out what you gonna do. Because look, on the one hand, you don't want no one to tell you what to do. But on the other hand, you see, because you're trying to find a way to get me to tell you what to do. But stop. But stop. I'm going to call you out on it. If you don't want to research, if you don't want to study, don't even fuck with it. Don't even fuck with it. If you want to come to try and figure out a way to avoid the things you don't want to deal with, this is going to be one of them. You don't want to deal with this. You know, look, you can take as long as you want to. I don't mind. Okay? But I'm not going to do your work for you. I'm not going to do your work for you. I'll let you know quick. I'm not the end all be all or nothing. As a matter of fact, I'll introduce you to motherfuckers who know certain elements of this shit better than I can tell it to you. This shit ain't secret and hidden. You're not getting the secret steps to go have a superhuman life. Nah, bro, we ain't playing that. So that's what you look for. Don't holler at your boy. What they say? I ain't even gonna hold you, right? Don't hold me. Don't hold me. Don't hold me. Please. Because you're gonna be sadly mistaken. I'll tell you, well, look, go ahead and dance with me you want to, but he won't like you, but he will teach you. Hell yeah, I ain't gotta like you to teach you. I definitely don't have to like you to teach you. And if you have to like the person you're learning from to learn, you ain't learning. You ain't learning. You think you gotta be buddies? Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Go somewhere else and get a friend. Go somewhere else and get a friend. You gonna come in, you're gonna go learn. And if you don't want to study, you don't want to have to listen, you want to just feel good and do what you want, you can do that somewhere else. You want someone to tell you what you want to hear? There's plenty of motherfuckers out there for you. You the chosen one. We tapping in. Peace, family. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. It's not because I'm better than them. I don't do that. I don't do that. And if you think you need that to learn, I challenge whether or not you learn it at all. Smooth, good to see you in the chat. Welcome to the show, sir. Yeah, so welcome week is here. 1 week, the doors to the guild are open. I don't do onboarding and taking money throughout the course and people just jumping in and out. You get in when the train about to leave. When the train leaves, the doors close and we go on the expedition into the fundamentals of practical magic. Okay, it's like a school on self-initiation. All right, and look, oh my God, I'm telling you, you get in here. And I'm going to point it out. Because you have to be running towards this work. You can't be running away from something else. I'm going to point it out. And you ain't going to like me. And I told you ain't going to like me. And it's cool. I don't mind. I'm used to it. But this is my job. I'm going to point it out. You can go somewhere else for kindergarten, bro. I hate it. I hate it for you, man. Kaiju, good to see you in the chat. Welcome to the show. So yeah, welcome week is here. Tell people, join together, do what you want to do. Just get in the guild. Get in the guild, bro. Or you can continue to do whatever it is you're doing over there. Look, don't hold me. Don't hold me. Alright, so look, we're going to get it started. I got 2 things at least I want to show you. Some places I want to talk about. Because don't even get into it. Don't even get into it. Let's get into this. Here you are out there in the wilderness. Think you good. Welcome to the guild. Somebody give this nigga a hug. I need some milk. Nigga, don't nobody do it like me. Fuck you talking about? You nigga weak, bro. I ain't even trying hard. Okay. Alright, y'all. So, for those of you some reason don't know, in the guild, I teach you guys from the Bookman model. Because what most of you are missing is a particular model. You got this chimeric thing that you put together and you feel confident about. You got a mud pie. And you're impressed with your mud pie, talking about you about to be a chef. No. I don't want your macaroni picture, man. Look. We're going to get you right. Well, that's not by telling you was already right. As a matter of fact, you're probably real wrong. And it's not because you're a bad person or you're dumb. I mean, maybe you are. I'm not saying that's the reason. It could be the case that that's what you is, but I'm saying it may not be the reason. Look, these traditions are always done with guidance. And to not get guidance on it is not a point of pride. It's because most of y'all motherfuckers want something that's easy and quick. And I tell you right now, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. Reality is not a machine. You can't just manipulate it. Fuck out of here. You're going to manipulate and control it. No, slow down. Who the fuck is you? And remember the caterpillar from Alice in Wonder, right? Who are you? Fuck out of here. Y'all motherfuckers scared to talk to a person in the same room as you, But you think you about to manipulate and control the cosmos. Get the fuck out of here. That's just delusional as fuck. But I gotta deal with it, right? Okay. Never mind. Let's get started. Let's get started. Can I be upset? You're getting it for free. Shit. So, two things here. Remember I do this. Okay. The first one is a video clip. Well, the person who clipped it, he goes by the brand name Mr. Think Outside the Box, and he has a lot of different clips from interviews and conversations. So I'm assuming he spends a lot of time listening to these conversations. Otherwise, how would you clip them, right? Makes sense. Well, I think it makes sense. Anyways, the person being interviewed in the clip is Dr. Donald Hoffman. He's a mathematical physicist, somebody I usually recommend to people because I don't want to try and convince you of what you should believe. That's not me. That's not me. If you don't know what you believe, I'd rather you walk through that as opposed to me implanting into you what you should believe. No. No, that's your job. That's what I'm saying. Motherfucker be like, man, don't nobody gonna tell me what to do, but then want someone to tell you what to do. Shut the fuck up. Anyways, I send you guys to him. Because look, if you're gonna try and invoke the artifacts of physics in your spiritual system, melanin, energy, cellular metabolism, cranial nerves, right? Because like all that reduces to biology. I mean, physics, right? What are you talking? Dark matter, quantum, this or that. These are the artifacts of the natural sciences. Okay? If you're going to use those, the least you could do is actually listen to the people who study them. No, they're lying to me. If they're lying to you, where did you draw the line to determine which part you're going to keep? How you know they wasn't lying about all of it? You got a microscope? You done any biochemistry work? How do you know melanin even exists? Because you drew the line somewhere. You said, okay, this part is true, this part is lies. Well, how did you come to that determination? It's my intuition. Your feelings? Your feelings? But you ain't never looked into the idea of intuition. It validates your feelings. Shut the fuck up. Look, man. Side EJ, good to see you in the chat. Bro, check your email. Fuck you talking about? Look, you want to listen to these people if you're going to use elements of their models. Because make no doubt about it, the atomic model is a model. But if you confuse that for reality, you've confused the map for the territory. It's a common mistake. But you have to that's why I ain't gonna tell them nigga y'all the chosen one. So I don't want to try and convince you. I'll send you to people who study the thing that you think you know. And you can listen to them. This is Dr. Donald Hoffman. He talks about in the project he's doing with mathematics physicists. Well, mathematics really. He modeled. Well, they have mathematical models for evolution in terms of game theory, and to make a long story short, if I can really, mathematically, evolution does not tell you about reality, your physiology, your biology, the way in which this organism of your body has evolved, did not evolve to see reality. There's basically a 0% chance that that's the case. It evolved to survive. That's what it does as an animal. most of our ideas about the physical world, or as they call it in physics, space-time, are based on that presumption of the degree to which our senses can or do inform us of reality. He's one of the physicists who can tell you space-time is emergent. And he has math on it. So y'all will be impressed with the mathematical, the equation, it's the formula. Okay, talk to a nigga who deal with them things. Y'all niggas ain't never written a formula before gonna tell me a deity is a formula. But you don't know nothing about formulas. Fuck out of here. You don't want to tell nobody a deity is a formula? I don't know nothing about formulas. And I know I don't know. Y'all niggas can't even do basic multiplication gonna tell me about a formula. This guy does formulas, okay? He can, you listen to him, he can talk to you about it, and not only that, he can introduce you to other people who are talking about it, if you were to be so interested. Space-time, or the physical world as we know it, is emergent from some deeper reality. Now see, that's not new news to the ancient traditions, but it is new news to our secularized, Western view. It's in the culture, it's in the language. Just having a few new words and feeling confident about them doesn't get it out of you. But listen to someone who does the studying themselves.
Is how identified I am with my avatar. I think I am this body. I'm really tied to this body. And it's the stuff that I'm saying at the emotional level. There's an emotional part of me that doesn't believe it one bit. Emotionally, you put a gun to my head, I'm scared to death. Mm-hmm. Intellectually, I'll say to you, this is just an avatar. I'm the infinite that transcends. So, and when I die, I just, and I believe that. How deeply do I believe it? Put a gun to my head and you'll find out. I'll wet my pants. So it's very, very interesting for me to look at that and to see all the disjunctions, the things that are disjointed in my worldview.
Well, it kind of makes sense, right? Based on your theory that our senses have evolved to help us to survive, because someone not liking your thinking or your theories or rejecting you or harm to your body, it would go against your survival. So theoretically, if we are in the world that you've described, in the reality you've described, which is basically designed for survival, then you would have developed senses that make you change behavior if there's a risk of someone not liking you.
That's right. There are social pressures, and if you don't conform to them, you get feedback that can be very, very negative, and in some cases even death. If I go to a grocery store and don't happen to pay and just walk off with the stuff, I end up behind bars. There are rules of the game. There are rules of the headset. I transcend the headset, but I choose to allow myself to get lost in the game. One thing I've seen is how identify.
All right, this is the first part, guys. Check me out, okay? One of the ways he frames his argument is the idea of our notion of space-time, or our experience of space-time. Space-time is what physicists call the physical world. Our notions of space-time, our experience of space-time, is like wearing one of those virtual reality headsets. Okay? And it's illusionary. However, we're deeply invested in the game. Okay? And like I said, this is old news to the ancient traditions. But the reason this is so jarring for him is because our contemporary mindset does not take this idea as a given. Now, please don't be tempted to think that you do, because you can say the words confidently. You didn't listen to him. He can say the words confidently. So confidently he can show you the mathematics on it. But a man who's devoted his life to math, when I say he can show you the mathematics on it, that's deeper than you having a fucking sentence that you heard somebody else say that you ain't really studied. I know I'm not the body. What else did he say? Come. See, what I'm pointing to there is understanding it on an intellectual level. And y'all niggas ain't even really deep on the intellectual level. Like I said, he'll take you to the math. All you got is a sentence that you're confident in. And I'm not saying it to be disparaging, to put you down and try and stop your rise. Fucking idiots. What we're pointing to here is the very common and understandable cognitive dissonance that comes along with this. On one level, he knows quite certainly that he is not that avatar, that physical body. But yet and still, he's deeply tied to it. And with that comes having to challenge your fears, having to challenge the things that are unknown to him. This is part of why I featured another one of his interviews in, I think it was episode 40, How to Deal with Fear. I'm saying this because it's typical, it's common, it's average. You are not above average. If you thought for an instant you were above average and you haven't even been tried, you're more than likely below average. In all honesty, because you're too arrogant to recognize, without having been tried, that most everyone is average. That's what the word means. But you've been tried against motherfuckers who don't do none of this, who don't ever think about it at all? No. From a room full of people who just are above debate and only say positive things? But stop. There's a cognitive dissonance, and it's common and understandable to have, but you have to deal with it. That's my point here. And it's no small feat. Well, I'm trying to convince you that you can't do it on your own? No, I've said it before, you can. But you're not getting no bitches for that shot. And you gonna get in there. Look, even with motherfuckers here who have the guidance, it's death. It's death. You have to die. The whole shape of you is based on that idea. Now you can try and climb your way up, and that's fair game, to be completely honest. But this is part of what I'm going to point to today. In order to do that, your spiritual system needs detail. Could you imagine a ladder with no rungs? The rungs are the bars that you grip. Could you imagine a ladder with no rungs? Of course not. It wouldn't work. That's what you have when your spiritual system is just, well, I'm the infinite. It's a ladder with no rungs. our view of religion, especially here in the West, because the West is deeply rooted in a history of Christianity, and a very specific history of Christianity. One of the things I don't think all monotheism does this. You know, I honestly not sure, but I do know Christianity as a monotheistic religion does this. Um, it has a tendency to sterilize the heavens. So whereas you would have pantheons, a rich pantheons of various interwoven cosmic deities, um, that populated a world, an enchanted and spirit-filled world. Christianity's like, nope, there's just the one thing up there, all the way up there. I mean, he's got a few helpers, wings, angels, but no, it's all the way up there, very far away. And that's kind of what you end up doing when you do, well, I'm just infinite, I'm everything, I'm the supreme being, right? Jump straight to the top. Why are you trying to jump straight to the top? Because your ladder has no rungs. You need detail. You need structure, a system. And it's not because something is wrong with you or because I'm better than you or some kind of stupid shit like that. Like, you're missing the in between. You're missing the in between. Like I said in the last video, the prefix meta on metaphysics has just two senses there. There's the beyond, which is what you're trying to capture when you go, I'm infinite, I'm the supreme being, I'm all there is, right? The shit y'all niggas do, right? You're trying to capture that, but you're missing the other sense of meta, which is in the midst of. The devil's in the details. The details make all the difference. The details you find in the midst of the extremes. You can't just confident your way to it. Look, think about how long it's taken you to develop your knowledge of what you are and how you are. For most of you, at least 20 years. At least. For some of you, much longer. You're not gonna just float away from all of that. You have to wrestle with it. This is why I appreciate Dr. Donald Hoffman. Because I can see he wrestles with it. How he chooses to wrestle with it, the methods are many, the principles are few. He has a few of the principles he needs to start. He's probably not in great company. But it is what it is. The details. The spiritual systems had context. The spiritual systems had context. They were built over hundreds of thousands of years. Come, dude. Like, I get you're upset with religion. You don't want to have to listen to nobody. You're traumatized. You're hurt. All that's fair. I'm not trying to take it from you. But that don't mean you can create Rome on your own. What you mean create Rome? God, you niggas is dumb. I'm not talking to all of you. I'm talking like 5 of you. An empire, a complex, nuanced system. That's what the pantheons were. And still are if you can look at them. I'm going to come back to it. But I want to show you the other video. Okay? Because look, this notion, what I'm telling you about the nuanced pantheons. This is why I'll tell you, just initiate into somebody's system. Stop being a little fucking brat. if you're really interested, go initiate in someone's system. Please. They have all of it there. Matter of fact, reconsider Christianity. Because you probably didn't get a good look at it running so fucking fast, scared as hell. Look, here's the other video. Here's the other video. One of the pantheons that is still very much intact is Santa Dharma, or Hinduism. Okay. And I'm not telling you to convert. I'm telling you to look at the richness of the pantheon. This is where, it helps to study. Ontological symbolic languages. Yes. That's kind of how I frame it in the book I'm writing. Yes. There's ontosymbolic frameworks. Yes. Yes. Hit me with the ontological. Getting them. Yes. That's what I'm saying, bro. I'm trying to start y'all out. Get you in a place where you can actually get some traction and run. But all niggas want to do is feel good. God. I'm sorry. I'm not telling you to convert to Hinduism, okay? I'm not telling you to convert to Hinduism. I'm telling you to notice the richness of the pantheon. Don't you notice the richness of the natural world? I guess you don't study that neither. God. But you know when Ice Spice's next concert is, and who her producer was. The fuck out of here, bro. There's so much information. Anyways, I want you to notice the richness of the pantheon. And I'm going to show you this video to give you an example of what you can pull from a rich system that's full of context. And not just, go to the highest, that's it. No, I'm the infinite. Like, just stop it. Ugh. All right, hold on, here we go.
It is written that even the gods envy human birth, because only a human can choose. A god is bound by perfection, a demon is bound by desire, but a human stands between the two, free to become either. Now that is the unbearable gift of being human, the fact that we have freedom. Sartre once said that man is condemned to be free. Condemned because freedom sounds beautiful until you realize it means you cannot blame anyone anymore. Not your past, not karma, not fate, and every choice you make is a declaration of who you are. In Sanatan Dharma, they call this Purusharth, human effort, human will. Even if destiny exists, it bends for those who act. In the Mahabharata, when Yudhishthir stood alone after the war, crushed under the weight of loss, he asked, "Was this destiny or my doing?" And Bhishma, lying on his bed of arrows, answered, "Destiny is the name men give to their past deeds." Meaning that you write your own fate every moment that you act. And that is why the rishis never feared karma. They saw it as clay, soft, alive, changing with every hand that touches it. Albert Camus once wrote that the meaning of life is whatever you give it, and maybe unknowingly, he was echoing what the Gita had already said, that your action is your prayer and effort is your offering to the divine. That is the real burden of being human. Not just pain, not failure, but the potential that you have, because potential means choice and choice means weight. The Katha Upanishad says the soul stands at a forked road. One path is Preya, pleasure. The other is Shreya, the good. The gods already walk the good, the beasts already follow pleasure. Only humans stand between both, deciding every moment which one you'll become. So the question isn't what's your fate. The question is what are you choosing right now, because heaven and hell aren't somewhere else. There are two possibilities within you, and that is the terrifying, divine weight of being human. In the Upanishads, it is written that even the gods envy human birth.
there's a few points here I want to touch on. I almost want to play it for you again. To be completely honest, I almost want to play it for you again. Choice. Today in our secular age, our Western secular age, freedom of choice is held up as paramount. Okay, fair play. Won't take it from you. But usually people are only interested in the benefits of that. And when it comes to the consequences, there's a lot of avoidance. You're always free to choose whatever you want. You're just never free from the consequences. You're free to choose what you want. You're just not free from the consequences. There's no trick to free you from the consequences. Choice is your power. This is why I won't tell you what to believe. This is why I spend the smallest amount of time I can telling you what to do. Your choice is yours. Sometimes in the face of the idea that, oh, if everything is written, if everything's already planned out, why should I do anything? That's like an actor saying, well, you already wrote the script. Why should I act this out? Right? The script's already written. I'm just going to get on stage and do a poor job. I'm just drag my feet. No. You show up, you play your role, and you play the best damn role that's ever been played. What am I going to get from that? What you mean what you going to get? What you going to get if you don't do it? You'll notice he made the distinction between pleasure and the good. See, the naive hedonist doesn't understand that because they're basically an animal, a baby, an animal. What isn't pleasure the good? No. Today we don't use the word good the way it's always been used. Just like I said, we have this idea of your own personal autonomy as being the highest thing, and that's very deeply tied into pleasure. If I don't want it, if I don't want to do it, why should I ever do it? The good is the highest aim that one can have. The good is the highest aim that one can have. The gods walk the path of the good. The animals walk the path of pleasure. But is that wrong? Shut your weak ass up. It's not that it's wrong. It's that it's not the good. It's the distinction being made. And yet and still, on the table is your choice. You're always free to choose what you want. You're just not free from the consequences. This is why I tell you play to win. There's so many people shape what they do based upon consequences. Based upon, oh no, what's going to happen? What am I going to get? Oh no, I'm scared. I'm scared. And because they're scared, they choose not to act or they run. I'm not telling you don't have fear. I can always say that shit. I'm not telling you don't have fear. You have to check your relationship to it. The spiritual work is not about what you're going to have. It's about what you are going to be, what you are going to become. See, the answer to that isn't some end state, isn't some certain end state. See, when you're thinking about what you're going to have, there's a certain end state. When you're thinking about what you're going to become, that is open-ended. When you're thinking about what you will become, that is open-ended. There's not an end state. In terms of what you'll have, yeah, there's an end state. That's why it's never satisfied. Because as soon as you get there, it's going for the next thing. Each choice you make is a declaration of who you are. This is not about what you will have. It is about what you will become. And you have to participate in that. If you spend your time neglecting it, that's your choice. But is it wrong? It ain't right. It ain't wrong and it ain't right. See, that question is beside the point. That question is presuming there's a value of hierarchies that's somehow universal. It's not right or wrong. It's your choice. You're always free to choose what you want. You're just never free from the consequences. Oh, excuse me. I spent more than 6 months easily having that same conversation over and over and over and over again. So much so we can't get to none of the actual material. We just having that same conversation over and over again. Oh my God. I'll be all right though. Watch me do it. You have to mind your choices. I'm not telling you what to choose or what not to choose. I'm saying you have to mind your choices. Back to where I started. And I'm going to bring it back again full circle. Because look, you overlooking your own ignorance is a choice. So let's say you're reading something. You see a word you don't know. Just skip over it. See 2 or 3 words. Just kind of skip over it. Get to the end of the paragraph and wonder why you don't understand. Because you chose the allegiance with your ignorance. In the information age, I can understand if you had to travel a mile to go get an encyclopedia because nobody had the internet and that's the only place you could find what a word meant. You got the internet in your pocket and you gonna skip over that. Let's use another example because niggas don't read. You watching a video. Motherfucker say a word you don't know. Just keep listening. Fuck it, right? You can pause it and look that up. What did you choose to do? See, that's one place you're in allegiance to your own ignorance. So you don't compare yourself to motherfuckers who ain't trying to do none of this work. You're in the wrong place. You talking about you want to swim on an Olympic level, but you still looking at folks in the kiddie pool. Don't look over there. You're in allegiance to your ignorance. And no one's forcing you to do that. Oh, the world's got me this way and that way. These people have done it. Oh, man. No. See, let's go back to freedom. Let's go back to freedom. You want your freedom, right? Well, what comes with freedom is that you can't blame nobody. It's your choice. Now, you can understand the circumstances you're in. That's always beneficial. But to let those circumstances define you is a choice. I swear, motherfuckers want the benefits of freedom, but don't want the consequences of it. Welcome to the show, Saigon. Scorpio, Pinocchio. Welcome to the show. I'm pretty sure I've seen you before. I'm probably butchered your name wrong like before as well. You gotta be honest with yourself about shit you're ignorant about. Not so, let me putting you down. Ignorance is the precursor to knowledge. You have to not know before you know. But you can't be satisfied with not knowing. I don't know isn't an answer. It's just the acknowledgement that you don't have an answer. It's also an opportunity to go get one. But you make your choice. In the first video with Dr. Donald Hoffman, he's having the cognitive dissonance between intellectually understanding the words, understanding the concepts, but what he would say is emotionally, on a deeper level, he's in allegiance with the idea of himself as his body. He's deeply tied into it. This is the first thing you need to wrestle with. It is not enough to intellectually understand things, especially on the low level of intellectual understanding motherfuckers have. Yeah, I'm talking about you specifically because you're choosing to be that. These are the two agreed axioms. They're where your line of thinking begins in terms of spiritual work. What do I mean by spiritual work? Work? What does it mean for it to be spiritual? It means it has a continuity with reality beyond the physical. Otherwise, I could just say it's physical. Spiritual. It has continuity with reality beyond the physical world. Once again, it's one thing to fucking say it. You wouldn't be the first person to trip over this. No tep, God and Goddess. I don't know what's going on with that. That's how what Panic said. No tep. Hello, Pablo. It's not enough to repeat somebody. Having an understanding on an intellectual level is not enough. You have to contend with how deeply you are in allegiance to that world of the physical, of the body, of that entire idea of yourself. You can't get rid of it. You can't just let it go, and you can't just float away. That's throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Because part of that you need. What's it mean to throw the baby out with the bathwater? You got a dirty baby, and you gonna go give it a bath. Baby dirty as fuck. Caked on, all kind of stuff, right? Put that motherfucker in the water, start to washing, the water get dirty. Water so dirty, you can't see the baby. So instead of going in there and searching for the baby, you just throw it all out. That's throwing the baby out with the bathwater. And you don't want to do that because the baby was the whole reason you ran any of the bathwater. You want to go in there and get that. So you can't get in there and get that if you don't want to have to acknowledge it's in there. Oh, it's just fuck all this. Fuck the physical world. This shit is nothing. It doesn't matter. You a goddamn lie. You a goddamn lie. See, I don't tell you the physical world isn't real. An illusion don't mean it's not real. It don't mean it's fake. It's either not what it appears to be or more than it appears to be. And the distinction between those two is subtle. Significant, though. You have to contend with it. It's not enough to feel confident. Y'all motherfuckers in your feelings, man. What's wrong with that? Shut up. Ugh. I remember one person who was in the guild. Took him maybe about 2 seasons before he was ready to admit it to himself. Like, yeah, I really do think I am the body. You got to. You have to be willing to see that. Otherwise, there's no way to get around it. As a thing is bound, so it is unbound. The same thing that binds something is what will release it. You have to see how you're holding on to it. Just like I pointed out, the ways in which you can be in allegiance to your own ignorance. See, I can point it out there and I can point it out here. Why? It's the same pattern. You deal with that pattern, you'll get both of those at once. This is where I tell people to start. This is where your line of thinking begins. To make sure you're appropriately oriented in the appropriate direction to begin spiritual work. I don't care how many panic videos you watched once. Y'all motherfuckers don't even watch videos more than once. I don't care how many Bobby Hemmett videos you watched once. Didn't get none of the books. Didn't look up none of the deities. Just felt good because you heard it and a Christian wasn't listening. Don't hold me. Don't hold me. Dude came to the guild, right? Told me he's interested. He's real interested in some particular system, right? Okay, cool. Have you studied it? Oh, I got a book on it. Already a red flag. Okay, how much of it did you read? Oh, I read the first few pages and fell asleep. What? What you mean you interested in that? You're not interested in that. You feel good about the idea. You was interested in it, you study it. You can say you want to understand the spiritual work, but if you're not going to do the work in between, nah, you don't really want that. You like the idea of it. It feels good. If you're going to tell yourself you want it, you got to want the work that comes along with it. Because you're going to hit that point, man, I didn't realize this was going to be so much work. Okay, yeah, it's going to come. What you going to do when it come? Stop, right? Nah, I'm good, man. Look, I got to go find something easier than this. Go bake a cake. Fuck you mean? You player hating. JK. Nah, you serious. If you was just kidding, you wouldn't even have typed it. Hey, you talking about? Boy, you can't get that past me. Nah, I'm not hating. I'd be hating. Look, I'd be hating if I put the person on blast. Mm-mm. See, I could be that way. I don't. Choice. I'm not telling you there's a way you have to be. There are consequences to your choices. That's it. And you have to check the consequences. You have to check the consequences of your choices. Because I know damn sure I'm not going to force you to study. I'm not going to force you to learn. Fuck you mean? Boy, stop. I'll be the last motherfucker. And then you going to fight me while I force you? No, I'm good. Don't hold me. So you have to, this is the first thing. You really got to contend with the degree to which you really do think you're the body. You got to get past the embarrassment and the shame. That's it there. I know one student, it took him about 2 months of just embarrassment and shame. Like maybe in the first few weeks, it hit him that, he'd been doing this stuff for a minute, but none of the people he'd been dealing with touched what we touched. And it was like, whoa. And he was embarrassed for like at least 2 months. Because it's like a 3-month course. At least 2 months. He didn't even really get back into the flow until around the 3rd month of that first time he was in the guild. And I was like, okay. I mean, look, take your time with it. You gotta wrestle it. You gotta wrestle it. So this is the first one, man. I'll give you all the information you need. I'll tell you where to go find stuff. It's up to you to go look at it. Go look. It's up to you to do the exercises. It's up to you to listen, to speak, to challenge yourself. See, no one can force you to do those things. And if you're waiting for someone to force you to learn, you ain't interested in learning. Niggas had the Master Student Conference. Master students, huh? Master students. Get the fuck out of here. Nah, he ain't talking about me. Okay. Alright. That's how I know I am. These 2 agreed axioms, man. Because look, this ain't even the first step. This is making sure you are oriented in the first place. Okay, Eric, so once I understand how that I'm not the body, now what do? I didn't say that. I'm not even going to start you as you not the body. Go ahead and say, you're more than the body. It's fine. It's fine. Give yourself that space. Don't try and run from the physical body in the physical world. I'm so serious. I'm so serious. Don't try and run. But you have to dig through that. You got to dig through that dirty bathwater. Because you're not going to be able to change it unless you find that baby. So these are the first 2 ideas you need to actually hold. And not just intellectually know. I am more than the physical body. And the physical realm is holographic or illusionary. Like I say, illusion don't mean it's fake and not real. It's very real. But it's the least real. That's it. There are more important things. More real things. The way we're used to thinking about the world, and as an effect ourselves, is that what's physical, what I can have, is what's most real, what's of most importance. No need to try and find how you're special and different. Figure out how you exactly like everyone else. Figure out how it is you doing the same exact thing than the motherfuckers you hate. Dig through that dirty bathwater. See, when we do the guild, let me show you. When we do the guild, it's 3 months. What did I put here? When we do the guild, it's 3 months. Okay? In each of those months, there's a block of 3 weeks, 3 consecutive weeks. And in those 3 weeks, we have class sessions. Now, let me get this thing to load the fuck up. It opened up the whole thing. Why is this the whole? No, there's an image. Where's the image? Give me the image. It's much smaller. My apologies. Where is it? Here you go. Head ass. So yeah, in the guild, we're doing 3 months, right? Each of the months, we go over one of the 3 A's of Practical Magick. Ascension, Ancestors, and Altars. So each month, we're going over a different A, right? But regardless of which month we're on, No, that ain't the one to show it. Where's the one to show it? Ah, here, I gotta use this one. And then I can just click through. Regardless of which month we're on, we always doing shadow work. So here, let me make this bigger for you. I can do that. Yeah, look. Let me double check it. Yeah. All right. And get this out of here. Get that out of here. All right. So look, 3 months, and it's the same pattern every month, same time, same day. You get the schedules and all that. It's real simple. But even simple is too much for some people sometimes. Anyways, practical practice. That day, 3 times out that month, we're going over that A. It's ascension, ancestors, or altars. Okay? One of these 3 pillars. No matter what month it is, we're doing shadow work. Okay? The motherfuckers swear they know what shadow work is. They swear they know. Don't do no research, but swear they know. And look, you just listening to any and everyone, not challenging any of it, is not research. You listening to people who are above debate, not research. Not at all. Ain't no way what you doing is a science, is a philosophy. If you're above debate. Fuck out of here. So we'll have 3 classes on each of the A's. We got 9 on shadow work. It sets the pace for everything else. Finally understand what you've been saying about these specific paths, like the middle way of how they use centrism in Zen. I don't know enough about Zen. Centrism. I'm not sure what you mean by centrism. But, I mean, if you finally understand, good. That's what I want. I want you to understand. You gotta see how you're a typical piece of shit. You have to. You can't keep trying to frame things so that it turns out the way you want it to be. You're too deep in allegiance to what you want. Look, this is the problem with that. The you that wants that. Wanting isn't the problem. It's the you that wants that. That you is what has to change. Well, I'm pulling this video back up. Listen to him again, bro. It's that you. The shape of it has to change. It's not enough to have an intellectual understanding of this. There are levels of knowing beyond just the proposition of the statement and how confident you feel about the statement. There are other levels of knowing that have to go along, and they're not going to come along just because you have a statement and you're confident about it. Trust me, I've seen it. It's like clockwork. You can say the good shit, you can talk that good shit, but when it's time to show up, when the moment of truth comes around and you have the opportunity to run, to hide, to deflect, eat it up. Choice. But what's wrong with that? Shut the fuck up. What's right about it? I get what I want, and that's it. What's the you that wants that? That you that hasn't changed. That same old, same old. The spiritual work is about what you will become. It's not so you get the answer of what's at the end of the path. I'll tell you quick. Fuck around and find out. All this scary shit.
Oh, identified I am with my avatar. I think I am this body. I'm really tied to this body. And it's the stuff that I'm saying at the emotional level. There's an emotional part of me that doesn't believe it one bit. Emotionally, you put a gun to my head, I'm scared to death.
Mm-hmm.
Intellectually, I'll say to you, this is just an avatar. I'm the infinite that transcends. So, and when I die, I just, and I believe that. How deeply do I believe it? Put a gun to my head and you'll find out.
Now hold on, because this is what I'm talking to you about, the details of the system. Do you hear how he described what it is he is? Do you hear how he described that you? He stumbled and fumbled through it. He had a few good words that transcended, to deeply believe that. The thing he deeply believes, he can't even articulate. He can feel it. But see, it's not enough. And look, I'm not saying you need to be able to articulate it so you can have the proposition. The having of the proposition is the result of the deeper understanding. Especially when there's a system you're using. This is what I help you to build in the guild. But if you're too scared, I can't do nothing about it. Trust me, I'm not good at making things feel better. I'm not. You want someone to make you feel better? That's why you got cohorts. Maybe they'll help. Get you a teddy bear, get a puppy. Do some drugs. Look, there's all kind of ways to feel better. I just ain't got it for you. Drowned himself in it. Yeah, you could see him gasping for air, right? Look, but that's because there's no structure. There's no rungs on that ladder. And he's grasping. And look, all respect for the grasping. It's better than just nothing, right? Okay, wonderful. But there's a lot of space between nothing and ultimate perfection. Like, you can't just hang out at those two extremes. This is why you need the details. This is why the details make the difference. God, speak English. The difference. Here's one hand, here's the other. What's the difference between them? Difference between them. The difference is between them. The details make the difference. They're in between, they're in the midst. It's like, I speak fucking English, but if niggas don't know English, what am I supposed to do about that? Do an English class too. Boy, stop. Let me guess, you want a discount on that? Fuck out of here. I gotta be an English teacher too to a grown person in the middle of the information age? Boy, stop. Please. And then you have the audacity to sit and listen to somebody read a book and you don't know English. I'm gonna do this one. Let me see if it'll come up. I should give this out more as homework. But nobody wants to do homework. Nobody wants to do homework. It's just scary. There's pressure. There's stakes. Here. Hand. What's a hand? What's a hand? Do you know English? I want you to look at all these different senses of the word. If you only have one, maybe two senses of the word, you have a shallow understanding of the word. This is part of why research and understanding and learning are imperative. Very important. I'm sorry for saying imperative. What about the word the, and, of, in, out, or, but? Shit you'll use every day to throw your feelings around. How well do you know the tools you're using? It's not enough to just float away from all this stuff and float above it. Everything is nothing. You missed it, bruh. You missed it. The middle path is frequented too often. Also, the biggest prosperity pastors are right-hand path geniuses. No jelly. What's the no jelly? What is that about? Is that like pause? Was that like no diddy? What is no jelly? Middle path is frequented too often. I wonder what you consider too often. Because if I had to say that, because what I usually say about that is people in the West usually try and run to Eastern traditions and something like the middle path, the middle way, they'll call, because it looks beautiful. It's very convenient. It's full of paradox. There is no wrong and there is no right. Oh, wow. I mean, like, okay. Because you can use it for whatever you want. If I smack you, hey, what's wrong with you? There is no wrong and there is no right. Oh, all right. No accountability there, right? Or you can just say some ridiculous bullshit. Well, I am the supreme, the supreme, the supreme. Hey, man, that's bullshit. Hey, there is no wrong, right? Now you can justify it. Paradoxes are very convenient when you want to avoid or justify. You have to deal with your proclivity, your desire, your tendency to avoid and justify before you can digest paradox. And if you're not dealing with the avoidance and the justification, shadow work, you're not going to be able to digest the paradoxes. Or rather, the degree to which you do will be only to fulfill your desires. So you'll miss what's actually in there. And prosperity pastors are right-hand path geniuses. Look, most spiritual systems are coming from the angle of approach of the right-hand path. It's the most intuitive. It's the easiest to start with for someone who doesn't know anything. So there's nothing wrong with it. I consistently talk about this stuff in the class because that's what's out here in the streets is this rejection of the right-hand path. Okay, because look, there's plenty of prosperity fuckers talking about the middle path. So look, you're going to find them wherever there's money to be made. A fool and his money are soon parted. And when you got ignorant motherfuckers running around, oh yeah, you're going to have them everywhere. So I'd say it's equally on any one of the angles of approach. As long as you have some gullible fool, you'll find them there. Let's see, right, left, and middle. These are angles of approach. They're not the system itself. Like I remember, like one of maybe the session before the last in this previous season, we were talking about that because we kind of got into a little bit of the idea of like a lot of the structure for things like Buddhism and Zen is set up to accommodate the middle way. But that's not to say the system is that. One of the cohorts brought to my attention some element of Zen that wasn't really middle way. It was much more right hand path. Like you could take Christianity and do that. So it's not the system itself. These are angles of approach. Prosperity path or middle path? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They'll sprinkle you with paradox. Make you feel good. What's it called? What's the thing they call it in NLP? Something rapport. Manufactured rapport? I think it's something like that. But yeah, man. Look, you got people who spend tens of thousands of dollars to go to retreats to sit and hum together and feel good. Oh yeah. Don't have to learn much of nothing. Get you a little certificate. Look, go to Office Depot, make these niggas a certificate. Get about 500 of them for $10. And we'll charge them $10,000 to come get it. Fuck you, Bede. Hell yeah. A fool and his money are soon parted. Bro, I could be making bank, bro. If I just tickle y'all, just tickle you. Oh, tickle. Going in there what you wanted. Don't it feel good? Yeah, man, this is great. All right, that'll be $150,000. Oh yeah, man. Here you go. Here, man, I'll be back, bro. Yeah. Put on a nice robe, man. Well, here, look. I'll talk about it for a second. Oh, now my precious NLP. Yeah. Well, y'all niggas, man. Look, ain't no tricks to trick yourself around what you know you believe. Ain't no tricks. And look, you fuck with me, you gonna have to go back through all of that. You want to feel better about what you know you believe. You don't want to have to acknowledge it. So you do a little technique on yourself. No, sir. No, sir. Not gonna work. So look, right hand path, left hand path, middle path. Because look, this class is not left hand path. I leave it open for you. I most certainly do. But I'm going to consistently say, Simba, don't go to the elephant graveyard. Simba, don't go to the elephant graveyard. You got all this other stuff here. But inevitably, hard heads going to do what they want to do. Don't worry, I'll be here when you get back. Because I ain't coming running for you. You gonna come back around. You can't get around the shadow work, bro. Sheriff plays a spooky role too good. Well, I mean, look. I mean, maybe he does play it good, but the audience really wants it. As a matter of fact, some people can't listen and learn unless you do that for them. Unless you make them feel a certain way. I mean, he's good or bad. Shit. Look, he make money, right? Fuck, go ahead. Shit. Motherfuckers need to be really honest about how much they want to be bullshitted. They don't want just hit them with it. I like to just stop, yeah, slow down, chill, bro. Nah, what you talking about? Whatever. So look, the 3 threats of ascension. All right, these are fundamental angles of approach. When we're talking right hand, left hand, middle, these are angles of approach. These aren't the system itself. These are angles you can approach the work. All right, they're not the system itself. And you don't want to confuse that, especially because there's this big push to reject the right hand path. It's organized religion. No. There are plenty of First of all, our idea of religion is very European. No, not me. No, you. Because I can tell you didn't even look at the history. You don't even know where it came from. You don't even know where it came from. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna so confident you ain't even tried yourself? The angles of approach to the work. Look, here's a map for the city of Atlanta, right? Okay, the map's not gonna change. I'm gonna keep the map the same. All right? That's the framing of a system, if you will. I'm gonna keep it the same. But if you approach the city of Atlanta as someone on a bike, so there's a certain way you approach it, you experience the territory one way, and the methods that you can do are constrained by how it is you're approaching the territory. You a nigga on a bike? Well, you're not getting on I-85 unless you want some trouble. What, you gonna ride that bike on the train tracks? The underground train tracks? The electric ones? No. So, in terms of how you're approaching the territory, is going to determine your experience of it and what you can do. So you got somebody on a bike versus somebody in a car. Same territory. Look, the city didn't change. But this person who's approaching the city as someone in a car is going to experience it differently, and they're going to have a different landscape of possible methods versus someone who takes the public transport. So you're not on the bike, you're not in the car, you're at the bus stop, you're in the train. You're going to experience the city differently. You're going to have different landscape of methods. Right, middle, and left are angles of approach. Okay, they are not the systems themselves. As a matter of fact, you can probably take almost any of the systems and approach them from different angles. What's different about the systems? What's the distinction between these angles of approach is the you. It's the you. I put so much emphasis on it. I'm so serious because it makes such a huge difference. On one side, the structure of the metaphysics makes a huge difference. Like, look, the whole time I was using it in Atlanta, if I were to use Chicago, it would be different. I could look, if I approach Chicago on a bike, I'm not going to get the same experience as I would approaching Atlanta on a bike. So first of all, you have the underlying framework. That's going to influence. Then you have the you and its angle of approach. That's going to influence. And both of them inform each other. This is why I can't just tell you what to do, even though you secretly, I don't want to tell you what to do. I do what I want to do. Yeah, but now you don't know what to do. I just want to tell you what to do. We have to deal with what the fuck you got in your pocket already. What did you walk in here with? What do you already think this is? I'm open-minded. You're an open-minded ass lie. You're an open-minded ass lie. It's like clockwork. And it's not to say don't have presuppositions. It's that you need to be aware of them. You need to be aware of them in your relationship to them. Just like fear. I'm not telling you don't have fear. You need to be aware of it and your relationship to it. I'm not telling you reject the physical world. You need to be aware of it and your relationship to it. What makes an individual want to reject religion? Well, all kind of reasons. All kind of reasons. I mean, look, the closest way to get to the answer is that is see in what way you're rejecting religion. I'm not rejecting religion. Are you rejecting any specific religions? Because I know usually when I try and talk with you from a lens of Christianity, you want to switch it to Buddhism, even though you don't know Buddhism. So there's a thing in there that's rejecting the Christianity. So if you look into why you're rejecting that, that'll start to give you a clue to the answer to your question. Because there's no universal reason why people do it. There's a myriad of reasons. Now that's themselves the question, what is religion? Oh yeah, because look, the European idea that we have of it misses so much of what the systems were. These are philosophical schools of thought. They're philosophical schools of thought. All right, this idea that comes out of Europe, because this is how they frame the idea of science, by reframing this idea of religion. It's reduced to a set of propositions. These are the things they believe, and these are the practices that they do. And that's insufficient to understand what a philosophical school of thought is. But see, if you start to look into the history of not only Europe, but what the history of other parts of the world, like I think the Islamic culture has a lot of history it's been able to retain. Um, I don't know how much of the Hinduism you can get because of the influence of the Theosophical Society, especially since with the language gap as well. But that'd be the same with Islam unless you speak Arabic. But you got to look at the history, man. Like, you got to look at the history. You can't just pick up an old system that wasn't made to fit you. You got to look at the history. Also, what the utility of religion is and was. Because look, we think of religion today as a system or a collection of beliefs. That's why science tries to pretend like they don't have any beliefs and they just know and they're neutral. And you're not. It's not neutral. It's not neutral. There's an underlying belief. That belief is that position you're taking is neutral. There isn't any neutral position. There's no such thing as a neutral position. That's what I'm telling you. It's not to get rid of all your biases and presuppositions. It's to understand them, to acknowledge them, and do a relationship to them. Not to claim that you have none and you're in this position from nowhere, this neutral view from nowhere. No, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Well, yeah, there's some of this that's going to be my book as well. But look, you got to see where you're choosing to maintain your ignorance. Where you're settling for I don't know. Well, it's okay that I don't know. I don't even need to know. See, look, I don't know. It's okay that I don't know. I don't really need to know. That's choice. No one's forcing you to do that. Well, come and convince me I need to know. Nope. Nope. What I'm going to do, I want you to go over there and look. What convinced you of what you know now? You know the starting five in the playoffs. You know their college records, right? Their college stats. You know the new Jizzy Jeff album, who produced it, how many tracks there are. Hell, look, you won't listen to a lecture more than once. You listen to that 10 times. Choice. But is that wrong? Shut up. It's not about whether or not it's right or wrong. It's that you chose it and you're living with the consequences of it. And will continue to do so. And it's not because somebody's doing something. Oh, the secret Hollywood Illuminati. They look, he did the hand sign with the 33. That's not stopping you. That's not stopping you. Man, this is really off, bro. Every choice you make is telling of who you are. That place where you're comfortable with what you think you know and don't feel you need to challenge it. That's why niggas ain't gonna like me. I walk up, hey, what the fuck is that? I mean, look, if you've been doing that yourself, you wouldn't be mad. These traditions, these philosophical schools of thought were nested in a culture, in a community, interwoven with the language of that culture and community. That isn't the same anymore. You'd be surprised how necessary it is to speak to someone else. I know it's terrifying because they may think something about you, even though you're sitting there thinking something about them. You have to speak up. And you have to listen. Not just hear and feel. Again, you have to listen. You have to participate in the dialogue. Oh, wow, I never heard that. Oh, whoa, that's crazy. That's not participating. That's just reacting. It's just reacting. That's not thinking. Some of you think you overthink. You don't overthink. You ruminate on worries and get caught up in the emotions of it. You have a thought and then, no, you don't even have a thought. The thought has you. The thought has you. Thinking is an active process. It's work. It's tough. Well, what? It's crazy. Shut the fuck up. Crazy compared to what? I'll be okay. Religion is not a matter of believing something to be true, but of becoming true through the self-transformation. Nishita. Ah, that's from the Kyoto School. Okay. I think he does a great job of critiquing the POV of the question, what is the purpose of religion for us? Because there's a you presupposed in that question. Yes, it's a particular you. It's a particular you. And it's that you that's supposed to be transformed. But then, you got the scary little thing, the worry. Well, what am I going to become? How do I know that's what I want to become? All of it still structured by that. Yeah. It presupposes a lot of that. Question, why does NASA choose to believe round Earth model when the Earth is pear-shaped and deny flat Earth dogma when it's observed that we are on a plane E? Bruh, I know you're joking. I hope you're joking. That's what it is. First of all, you don't need NASA to know that the planet is not a flat plane. People have known that for hundreds of thousands of years. You don't need NASA to know that. People have known that for hundreds of thousands of years. So I promise you, Massa's ice ain't no colder. Well, Massa got the NASA. You know Massa know the thing. But I gotta listen to Massa. Massa got the NASA. That ice super cold. No. People have known the planet is a sphere. You can say pear-shaped if you like. I mean, look, I'll tell you this. It's not a flat plane. Even geometry can tell you that. But stop. You killing me. I already got a whole thing on the flat Earth, bro. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just like I looked up the word hand and asked, how many senses of the word hand do you have? We can do the same with the word earth. How many senses of it do you have? The planet is named after that word, just like this appendage is named after the word hand. It's named after those many senses. Oh, stop. Niggas don't do. Oh my God. Yeah, you trying to piss me off. That's what it is. That's not a serious question. Can't be. You're just trying to piss me off. You almost got me. You almost got me, nigga. Pablo. The spiritual work is about what you will become, and you have to participate in that. The spiritual work is about what you become, and you have to participate in that. You have to participate. The old thing that you have been has to die. And you got to be the one to put it on the altar and sacrifice it. This is not something you can force, and it's not something that can be forced upon you. This is not something you can force. Well, just give me the technique and boom, it'll just happen like a machine. No. And it cannot be forced upon you. You have to walk to it willingly. You have to participate. You have to make the choice. That's what characterizes what it means to be M-A-M, man. The hand of God, the worker. That's what it means. The choice is pivotal. It's crucial. And you sit here locked into this, well, what's the right choice? What's the best choice? You don't even know what the words mean. You're scared to make the wrong choice is what that is. You're scared of consequences. You may as well go back to Mama Titty with that shit. Let somebody else run your life if you're scared of consequences. Let someone else make the choices for you. If you want the freedom to make the choices, take the consequences with your chest. Period. Play to win. Stop playing not to lose and avoiding losing. Hell yeah, Rage Bait. Can you go into that deeper, the sacrifice thing you just said? You got to sacrifice the you. The thing you think you are. Look, that's what Donald is talking about. He's experiencing that. Having to do that. Having to live in it every day. Not take a break from it. That old thing got to go. It's got to. It's not shaped appropriately. You are deeply invested in the idea that what you are is the body. You would like to think there's more to you. And fair play. Great job. I'm here to help with it. But the degree to which you're invested, I can't deal with it for you. You have to wrestle with it. You have to be willing to let it go. You have to be willing to let it die. And you have to approach that willingly. You cannot be forced to do it. No one's going to push you. And it's not just going to happen. You have to step up and participate in it happening. Even when it's scary, even when it's uncomfortable, even when you don't want to do it. Especially in those moments, you have to participate. See, that mechanistic worldview where we're looking at the world like a machine, you don't have to participate with a machine, you manipulate it. Just like this fucking thing here. I manipulate it. Do what I want. Do what I want. Why don't you do what I want? Reality is not a machine. You got to participate with it. You got to dance with it. You got to wrestle with it. And not so you can win, because you're going to lose a lot. But that's the path to learning. That's the path to understanding the things someone can't say to you in words. I'm great with words, and I'm going to keep trying to find different ways to say it. It's always going to be insufficient. It's always going to be insufficient. So why try? Because I can get better. What do you mean? What do you mean? Why try? Why try? I can't be perfect. Perfection is not a state of being. It's a process. It's a becoming. Perfection is unending. It's a process. It is not a state of being. But you treat perfection like something that you have, of course you think about it that way. It's not something you have. It's something you participate with. You participate with, in, and as it. It's something you participate in. Participate in your own undoing. Yes. 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 Every step. No break. Motherfuckers want to learn how to make this part of your day-to-day life? Yeah. No break. You have to show up. Nah, bruh, chill. What you mean chill? Mm-mm. This is why I appreciate Donald. Because he'll even tell you how scary it is. How off-putting and uncomfortable it is. But he's dedicated to it. So he's going to keep doing it. I'm not telling you what you need to be dedicated to. I'm saying what you're dedicated to is telling of who you are. What you're dedicated to is telling of who you are. What you're dedicated to is telling of who you chose to become. Choice. Initiation is not instruction, it's a metamorphosis of being. Oh yeah, most certainly. Oh, go ahead, man. But the current zeitgeist and propositional tyranny makes it seem if you got the right saying and order of words, then you know. That's what we've reduced knowledge to. Having the appropriate set of propositions. I have the appropriate statement. Here is truth. Here is knowledge. There's so many other forms of knowledge that aren't that. But that's the propositional tyranny. The tyranny of the proposition. It's I am the supreme. If you don't have this, you don't have knowledge. And because of our fascination and fixation on that type of knowledge, we've forgotten the relevance of the other types of knowledge, even though we'll be hungry for it. Donald is talking about the level of knowledge, the intellectual level he has it, that propositional level. But he's pointing to the deeper levels of knowing where it's not there yet. And so he has to wrestle every day. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any rungs on his ladder. This is why I'm telling you how important the texture and the detail, the nuance is for a system. No, you're not going to have it all right away. Of course not. You're not going to have it all right away, but you have to start. And y'all motherfuckers ain't started. Well, the grand majority of you. If you think I'm talking about you, look, Amar right here in the chat, he's talking about it. I'm not talking about Amar. He's making moves. I'm talking about the rest of you. Stop. He's not talking about me. You can't be. You don't know everything about me. Fuck up. You need that structure and think about a basketball. They don't have the texture on it. It's hard to grip. It don't have the detail on the surface. It's just smooth, right? You can't get a grip of that. I'm the transcendent infinite. That's a basketball with no grip. You want that thing to have some texture, some detail. These systems had texture and detail. And you sitting here with random pieces from systems you won't even study. Just take a little bit of this, take a little bit of that, a little bit of that. You start showing it off on Instagram, ready to give niggas tips and hints. Get the fuck out of here. Rocky, hey everyone, I'm late. Came in at the spot where he's talking about me. Look. Look, see, that's how a master student do. He's saying I'm awful? It's gotta be me. It's gotta be me. It's gotta be me. Say I need to do some more work? It's gotta be me. It's gotta be me. That's how a master student is. Look, a master student's always looking for, where do I need to improve? Where? Not What's going to validate what I got? What's wrong with that? What's going to validate what I got? No. Just told you what the fuck was wrong with that. You're killing me with that shit, bro. Killing me with that shit. This work is about what you will become. I can't tell you what you can become. I can even tell you the high hopes I have, but I already know those are too small. That's why I'd rather guide you to see for yourself. I'd rather guide you to go see for yourself. Not to do what I did. You don't want to do what I did. You're going to waste your time because you're supposed to do what you going to do. If you're too scared to do anything, you're too scared of the consequences, scared of your shadow. Fuck out of here. You ain't going nowhere. By re-examining what you've been doing, the choices you've been making, once you actually get in there and wrestle with that, you can start to see what you can become. You'll find that. And it's not something I can give you. Fuck me. It's not something I can give you. But look, I'd make a killing if I told you I could, though, right? Make you feel good, tickle your chin a little bit. There you go. Wore a spooky robe. Oh, shit. I could milk the fuck out that shit. That'd be so funny for like a week, and then I get annoyed. I want to play this one again. Not this one. Not this one. Even though I'd suggest you look at it. Check out Mr. Think Outside the Box. Where was it? It was in my messages because I sent it to myself. I want to play this one again. Because you got to play your role. You got to play your role. You're so worried about where it's going to end up. What the fuck do you believe in? What the fuck moves and guides you? Fear? Survival? That's it? What do you live for? What would you die for? What is the world beyond just the physical world and the body? Don't give me some words somebody else gave you from a system you didn't study. Piss me off.
It is written that even the gods envy human birth, because only a human can choose. A god is bound by perfection, a demon is bound by desire, but a human stands between the two, free to become either. Now that is the unbearable gift of being human, the fact that we have freedom. Sartre once said that man is condemned to be free. Condemned because freedom sounds beautiful until you realize it means you cannot blame anyone anymore. Not your past, not karma, not fate, and every choice you make is a declaration of who you are. In Sanatan Dharma, they call this Purusharth, human effort, human will. Even if destiny exists, it bends for those who act. In the Mahabharata, when Yudhishthir stood alone after the war, crushed under the weight of loss, he asked, "Was this destiny or my doing?" And Bhishma, lying on his bed of arrows, answered, "Destiny is the name men give to their past deeds," meaning that you write your own fate every moment that you act. And that is why the rishis never feared karma. They saw it as clay, soft, alive, changing with every hand that touches it. Albert Camus once wrote that the meaning of life is whatever you give it, and maybe unknowingly, he was echoing what the Gita had already said, that your action is your prayer and effort is your offering to the divine. That is the real burden of being human. Not just pain, not failure, but the potential that you have, because potential means choice and choice means weight. The Katha Upanishad says the soul stands at a forked road. One path is Preya, pleasure. The other is Shreya, the good. The gods already walk the good, the beasts already follow pleasure. Only you, only humans stand between both, deciding every moment which one you'll become. So the question isn't what's your fate. The question is what are you choosing right now, because heaven and hell aren't somewhere else. There are two possibilities within you, and that is the terrifying, divine weight of being human. In the
I'm gonna have to watch some of his other stuff. He had something else I seen. What is this? This don't look like, man, that's some other shit. I wanna see you in the mood. Dressed up, nigga, chill out. Here, I like this one too. I saw this one. This one's hidden. And this really what I be talking about. Y'all motherfuckers be scared as hell. I'm not saying don't have fear. It's your relationship to the fear. Only a fool has no fear. Fear of the Lord. Beginning of wisdom is fear of the Lord. Fear of the Lord is beginning of wisdom. Something like that. Get the fuck out of here. Only a fool has no fear. Here's Martinez always in the background hiding. Man, you better quit hiding. All right, look, do what you do. It's your choice.
everything is fixed by karma, then why should we do anything at all? I am often asked this question, and that is actually the oldest question ever asked. Even Arjuna asked it. Standing in the middle of the battlefield, paralyzed, he said, "If destiny has already decided everything, why fight?" And Krishna smiled because Arjuna had fallen into the same trap most people do. He confused knowing the script with being passive inside it. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, "You have the right to action, not to the fruits of action." Which means that you don't control the result, but you control how completely you show up in the moment. Yes, karma writes the circumstances, but how you act within them decides what kind of person you become. You are not the director of the movie, but you're the actor, and your job is to play your role so perfectly that the story itself transforms through you. Imagine watching an actor who refuses to play his part because the ending is already written. Would you call that wisdom or cowardice? The Gita calls it tamas, spiritual laziness disguised as surrender. You don't escape the movie by walking off the set. You transcend it by playing your role so fully that you no longer confuse yourself with the role. And that is what Krishna calls karma leading to akarma. Action so pure, so free from self-interest that it leaves no residue. And this is the paradox of Sanatana Dharma. You are both the actor and the awareness watching the play. And only by acting with full intensity can you realize you were never merely the actor. Marcus Aurelius said something similar in the Meditations. Accept everything that happens as if you had chosen it. And that is what it means to align karma and dharma. To move as if destiny itself flows through your hands. And when you say everything is fixed, you turn your back on dharma. When you act despite not knowing the outcome, you become its embodiment. So why should you act if everything is already written? Because the script is fixed, but how you perform, it isn't. Karma gives you the stage. Dharma decides how you stand upon it. The enlightened don't run from the movie, they act it out so completely that when the curtain finally falls, there is nothing left but silence. The kind that says, the play was perfect. If everything
Love that. Love that. It's very well said. Very well fucking said. Yes, society, spiritual laziness. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that laziness, bro. It gets so many people. It gets so many people. Oh, I just can't do it. Mm-mm. Yeah, you can. Because if I brought some consequences along, you get your lazy ass up, wouldn't you? Yeah. It's bullshit. But that's what we're talking about. Motherfuckers will be in allegiance to that bullshit. Be in allegiance to your own ignorance and the satisfaction with your own mediocrity. Oh, I don't know. It's not an answer. It's your acknowledgement of the absence of the answer, but it's also the grounds, the potential for you to go get it. See, our Western secular mind doesn't see potential as real. Only what is actual is real. What was it really? What was it really? What you mean? The actualized part. And we fail to acknowledge or understand potential as something that is equally real, if not more real. I'd argue for more real. But it's a bit of a metaphysical question. So No one's interested in that. Everyone's interested in what do I do? Tell me what to do, but don't tell me what to do. You confused bastards. I'm sorry, that one was mean. That was mean. I didn't have to say that. But yes, he says it right. Santa Dharma. Because Dharma and karma aren't the same thing. And that's what they call them. The Hindus themselves call Hinduism. They don't call it Hinduism. That's some colonizer shit. Santa Dharma. Yeah, the cowardice. The cowardice. That's another one. It's clockwork. Because remember, I'm not telling you don't have fear. It's your relationship to it that makes you a coward. It's your relationship to it that makes you a coward, not the fact that you have it. The fact that you have it means you're not a fool. Your relationship to it determines whether or not you're a coward. What you do in those moments of truth, on those pivotal points in the show. This is why in the guild, I help to start you out. And I'll walk with you as long as you're doing the work. Look, I'm going to tell you to go do this 10 times and you never get around to doing it. We're not moving. I'm following you. Look, I got all the stuff. We can go this way. You want to go that way? You can go that way. If I can't go over there, I'm going to let you know, hey, I can't go over there. I don't know that. Here, there's somebody that might know it. Here's what you might be able to expect. When you're being a coward, it's a choice. It's your choice in how you're relating to fear. It's your choice. I can't do nothing about it. All I can do is be here for you. You know where to find me. All I can do is be here. You need detail and structure. That's what allows you to grip the spiritual system. See, you have your grip on this physical life narrative is so good, it's got a grip on you. There's so much detail, nuance, and subtlety that you just can't seem to stop focusing on. The system needs that and more. See, you get over the shame and the embarrassment that you're deeply focused on the physical world and the narrative of yourself that you have about it. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. I should be doing something else. Well, hold on. Stop. Okay, that's how you feel. Look, this is what's got your attention. The nuance, the detail, the subtlety, the drama. Why isn't any of that in your spiritual system? Because you're too busy just being satisfied with, I'm the supreme being. That fucking basketball with no texture. You don't even know what that means. Look up the word supreme. Have you studied being? No. But it feel good. But it feel good, boss. But it feel good, boss. Man. That's why I try and start you with those agreed axioms. Let me open this thing back up, bro. God damn. Piss me off. I have to say the same thing over and over. And it doesn't even matter what I say. I just have to keep saying it. Hey, man, you been said that. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I start you with the axioms. I start you with the agreed axioms. And you have to wrestle with this. You have to face it. You have to face how deeply you are invested. Because it runs deep. It runs deep. Aries, you must have no investment to say that to me. No, you dumb. You see me mad. You see me mad. You see me here doing this. I'm invested. And they gotta be spooky Jesus Buddha to say something to your dumb asses. Fuck. The justifications. The going within is turning away from the physical body and the physical world. Not getting rid of it. You can't get rid of it. It's not to reject it. It's to turn away. You do it all the time. Your problem is you never frame any of that as real. You've never cultivated any of your capacity to exist there. Morpheus, why do my eyes hurt? Because you never used them before, Neo. Aries, why is this so difficult? Because you never done it. Fuck you mean? I don't want to practice, I just want to be good. What the fuck? I'm sorry. I hate niggas so much. The going within is turning away from the physical. You're not going within something physical. You're not going within your meat bag, within your melanin, within your cells. No, it's none of that. Because look, you do that, and you start to explore the part of you that is more than the body. So not only are you expanding your conception, but that also gives you room to go back and re-examine. As a thing is bound, so it is unbound. You have to see how you are bound, where you're choosing, where you're agreeing. You have to want to see how bad it is, how nasty and ugly, pathetic and embarrassing it is. You have to want to see. You want to get into the humility without tasting the humiliation that comes with it. Nah, get a big scoop of how humiliated you're going to be finding out how it is you really are. If you can't handle the humiliation, ain't no way you humble. Ain't no way. Get in there. Get in there. And then try to connect with the youth. Oh, shit. So I'm not trying to make fun of you for having a cognitive dissonance. All right? I'm trying to show you the way through it, as opposed to just trying to feel confident and trying to numb yourself to the things you don't want to have to think. The things you don't want to have to feel, don't want to have to acknowledge, don't want to have to see. You're not going to be able to expand your awareness while at the same time trying to constrict it to avoid what you don't want. It's not going to work. Or whatever though. Fuck this nigga Aries. It's cool. So I make sure we go through the metaphysics first, bro. Consistently. We go through the metaphysics. You have to, because you have to understand how metaphysics sits underneath everything. All that methodology, that's overlaid. And it's not just arbitrary. Like I told you, that you and its angle of approach, all of this goes into the methods. All of this goes into the structure and the detail of a system. It's not just a set of propositions. It's not just as simple as saying everything is nothing. You haven't said anything. You may as well have said nothing. Everything's made up. Well, was that statement made up too? These are the biggest questions ever. and you're looking for a simple, certain kindergarten answer, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. It don't exist. That's not my fault. Look, I bet you somebody will tell you it is. Somebody will tell you it is, and they'll charge you to tell you. Make you feel good. Tickle your chin. I'm not going to tickle your chin. I'm going to get my chin tickled, nigga. I'm a piece of shit. See, after you do that first orientation with the agreed axioms, you're going to need some rungs on your ladder. You're going to need some texture, some detail, some nuance to grip, to get a hold of, to make it tangible for you. And at the same time, you're going to have to let go of the old shit. One of the course messages me talking about, I gotta make sure I get grounded. And I'm like, grounded in what? That old thing? Grounded back into the way you used to be with the physical world? No. You gotta reground yourself in something else. You can't ground yourself in that old thing no more. You can't go back to the bottle. The baby clothes too small. I know you like the Power Ranger shirt. It's too small. We're gonna get you a little button-up polo. Get your little button-up polo. Oh shit. This real the ancestor ritual. Let his life isn't yours, but the effort is. Yeah, our lives are not our own. And see, it feels uncomfortable because of the you that has to hear that. And once you go through some of the transformation, you'll hear that differently. But because of the desperate clinging to that you and its desires and its fears and all the little things it can imagine, you can't hear. It sounds like someone is subverting your personal autonomy, your own freedom. And it's not a subversion of your freedom. Yes, our lives are not our own. Never been. I remember talking. You've seen the places where, damn, I don't control none of this. We want control. We think that's going to keep you safe. Can you not have control? You wouldn't know what to do with it if you had it. It's a blessing that you don't control your heartbeat. And you don't control the automatic breathing of your body. The world, your entire existence is much better off without you having all the control. What you do control is how you show up. That's what you control. How you show up. How you approach, how you play the role. Fear is adultery with God. I can even say fear is adultery with the divine. Fear is adultery with the divine. Not to say it shouldn't exist. It's your relationship to it. You're in a nice relationship, right? You don't want nothing to mess up a nice relationship. You good. I love this. But there's a hooker on the street, in the corner, outside your house every day. It's not just having a thing going to destroy your relationship. What you choose to do because it's there might. But that's always your choice. That's why I don't let y'all frame the world as your problem. It's perfect. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It's that you that's in trouble. It's that you that needs to change. I'll be fucked if I had to control my heartbeat every beat. Yeah. In the same way you'd be fucked if you had control over your life. You need to let go of the idea that you're going to have it. But that idea that you're going to have it is in the you. It's in the structure of that you. And you have to get in there and wrestle with it to get rid of it. To reshape it. To reorient it. The kinds of knowledge y'all are looking for with spirituality requires a radical change. There are some things you cannot know unless you radically change. There's some things you cannot know unless you radically change. This ain't no dip your toe in this shit. If ain't no dip your toe in it, you gotta jump. You gotta let go. You gotta do both of those at once. Imagine trying to jump and you ain't let go of the cliff. You know, that's gonna hurt. You gotta do both. Let go and jump. But I'm scared. What happened to your knowledge of the divine? See, nowadays we confuse faith with the idea of this blind faith and just complete ignorance. Faith is a structure of knowing. Once again, this is why you need the texture and the detail. It's a structure. And your knowledge of that structure is what you have faith in. Why? Because you're fit, conformed, you're oriented to that structure. And the best way to understand that is to get a good look at the structure you've already been oriented to. Not because someone forced you, but because you chose to. That's what Donald Hoffman's going through. Having to re-examine all the places where he is in allegiance to that old structure, that old idea. And it's difficult, and it's scary, and it's every fucking day. I got enough content for you to watch me for years. But please. And then don't do no. I've been watching you for years, bro. Did you do some research? You look some of this shit up? Fuck, not really, no, you know what I'm saying? Nah, don't even talk. Don't even talk. Alright, y'all, I'm gonna give y'all this one, man. I'm gonna give y'all this one. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you. This welcome week, man. Get y'all asses in the guild. Or, stay out there and do, peace fam in somebody's group chat. There's a new pose and filter on Instagram, I'm sure. You might have missed that one. The new Jizzy Jeff album is coming out. You might want to debate about who's the best player in the playoffs, because I'm sure that's important.